They may only take a minute each, but these are the things that are going to set you up for success for all the rest of your day. If you're job searching right now, you're in the right place. Welcome to Land Your Next Job, the show that helps you move from ghosting and rejection to interviews and offers. I'm Erika Parker-Price, a certified career coach with a background in tech who has spent nearly a decade helping professionals land roles at companies like Microsoft, Google, and mission-driven organizations. Each week, I share what's actually working in today's job market, from LinkedIn and networking to how AI is reshaping hiring. You'll get clear strategies and inspiration so you can run this marathon without burnout or guesswork. Follow the show and let's land your next job together. Hello and welcome to Land Your Next Job. I am Erika Parker-Price, and today I am going to share with you one of the practices that I have that I think may be useful to you, regardless of where you are, whether you are in the search, just brand new, you've been in it for a long time, or maybe you're even just thinking about it and you're still working. I think this practice is useful for everyone. I call it the perfect every day, and I've tried to come up with different words instead of perfect, but that's the one that sticks with it. I am not known for being a perfectionist. I know that's a problem a lot of people struggle with. I'm usually okay doing the B- work that gets it done. I think you have to be an entrepreneur, to be a podcaster, all of those things. So when you hear the word perfect and you hear me talking about it, think about it as maybe good enough, because that's what I'm thinking about. Although the good enough every day just didn't work for me. So let me tell you what it is. The perfect every day is all about figuring out, what do you need to do each and every day to have a good day? This is going to vary for everybody. I'm going to share with you exactly what the 6 things are that are on my perfect everyday list. And I want to point out that it is not my job. It's my job, my coaching, my podcasting. Those aren't things that show up in my perfect everyday. So I'm really looking beyond the obligations that I have. But what are the things that I need to do every day to keep myself healthy, happy, fulfilled, moving forward? What is it that I need to have in my day to give me that sense of peace? And the reason that I like this practice being outside of your work and outside of the job search is we can all have to-do lists of things that we have to do, that giant never-ending list. But these are your non-negotiables. These are the things that if you do them, and they may only take a minute each, some of them may take an hour. It's totally up to you what you put on this list. But these are the things that are going to set you up for success for all the rest of your day. Okay, so now that I've thoroughly confused you, let me tell you what mine are. I have 6 of them. I put them into a mnemonic because for me that helps to have a little acronym to remember it by. My mnemonic, which I can hardly even say that name, we'll go with acronym instead, is FREMOW, F-R-E-M-O-W. F is for friends and family, R is for reading, E is for exercise, M is for meditation, O is for outside, and W is for writing. Okay, so those are very unique to me. I'm going to walk through them individually and tell you why they work for me, but I hope by just giving you a sense as to what mine are, it may help you to figure out what are your non-negotiables in your everyday life. What is it that you need to do to be the best version of yourself? And like I said, yours are going to be completely different than mine. We may have some that overlap. I am certain that some of mine are going to be unique to me. And I played around with the name. I went with Mofer. That didn't really work for me. FREMOW seems to be the one that I can remember. And I'm not going to say that I do all 6 of these every day, but it is something that I know when things aren't right, when things don't feel balanced, I can look back on it and think, I wonder which one of those has been missing. What have I not been doing? And then I can usually identify where that missing piece is. And what I would encourage you to do is put together your own list. It doesn't have to be 6. In fact, I'm not even certain that it should be more than 6. It could be 2 or 3 things that you know that you have to do every day. It might have something to do with what you eat. It might have something to do with what time you go to bed. There may be a particular activity that makes you laugh and you just want to do that every day. So just know that this activity is designed to be as free form as you want it to be. Now, how did I come up with mine? Okay, friends and family, that one was easy for me. I am a person who craves connection. I think as humans, we all crave connection. We get it in different ways. But what does it mean to me to spend time with friends and family? And I've gone back and forth as to how I actually implement this. I think for me, usually this one is easy to hit. I live with my husband. We spend good quality time together almost every night. And so that one is probably an easy check mark. But I like to go beyond that too. Generally, it involves talking to my mom every day. I have 2 adult children and they both live thousands of miles away from me. So frequently that will include conversations with them. But I will say that when I am doing really well in this friends and family category, it goes beyond the things that I tend to do every day. So spending intentional quality time with friends and family, maybe that's a dinner party, maybe it's a walk with a friend, just something that gets that quality time for me. My work time is spent primarily online. And while I do think that a lot can be done over Zoom, I also really crave that in-person connection. So that's my first one, friends and family. The next one is reading. I'm a big reader of both fiction and nonfiction, but sometimes I will go through periods where I'm just not getting into a book. I'm not finding time to read. And I do find something lacking in my life when I'm not doing that. Sometimes I'll read more than one book. Maybe I'll have a nonfiction book that I'm kind of slowly making my way through, and I'll have a fiction book that is very compelling. I will tell you, I just started Dan Brown. I think it's called Secret of Secrets. My husband gave it to me. I've definitely read the early Dan Brown books. I may have missed them along the way. My husband thinks that I, in particular, am going to love this one. And it's about the science of consciousness. So yeah, I may really like that one, but that's what I'm reading right now. The good news about having this on my list is I don't have any sort of quantification around it. Now, I am a believer in quantifying things when it comes to goals that you set, but these aren't goals. These are just things that I need to do every day. So maybe I read a page, maybe I read 100 pages. It doesn't make a difference. It's just knowing that it's part of what makes a good day for me. Okay, the next one on my list is exercise. Now, do I exercise 7 days a week? No, I don't. But when I'm in a good space, which I think I am now, I want to choose with intention whether I'm going to exercise that day. So maybe I decide I'm going to take a day off, and that's completely fine. I'm in a phase of my life where I have 2 different physical therapists, one that's helping me recover from knee surgery and the other that's helping me recover from a frozen shoulder. So exercise is very specific for me right now, but it also includes Pilates and swimming and things that I really like to do and things that I'm finally able to do again. This is probably one of the ones that I would encourage everybody to have on their list. And exercise can come in so many different formats. But in terms of the perfect everyday, this is probably the one that I would put at the top of the list to actually consider being on there. There's so much science behind all the benefits that you get from raising your endorphins. I'm not going to go into all the details here on this podcast, but I think it has absolutely been proven out that exercise is good for us in the moment. It is also good for increasing not just our lifespan, but our health span. That's a new word that seems to have come on my radar lately, how many healthy years you get to live. That's one for me. Hopefully it'll be one for you as well. Okay, what are we on? M, meditation. I talk about this a lot. I have shared that I am not as good at this as I would like to be, but I definitely notice the difference when I'm doing it. It makes me calmer throughout the rest of the day. So what am I doing right now? I have an Oura Ring, and nope, they're not a sponsor of mine. Maybe one day they'll sponsor the podcast. Who knows? But I have an Oura Ring, and they have individual meditations that are on the app that comes with it. The Oura Ring is something that measures your sleep and your heart rate and all these different things. And I kind of enjoy it, but I've just been trying out lately all the different meditations that they have. I am a person who benefits from a guided meditation. I also lead people in my coaching sessions, sometimes through guided meditation. So I actually benefit from that too, whether I'm the leader of the meditation or the person that's going through it. This morning, I did a 6-minute meditation. I went and sat outside. I have one of those egg-shaped rocking chairs that hangs down from a post. And I got up in the chair. It was outside. It was kind of cool. I did a meditation, had my dog on my lap. He thought he would be up for the meditation as well. And it was just a nice way to start my morning. Okay, sometimes some of these double up. So my next one, O, is for outside. So that is just spending time outside. I actually did my meditation outside. It wasn't an intentional multitasking. I get the outside every single day because I have 2 dogs. I have a nice big yard and I take them out every day. But similar to the friends and family, I think this is one that I definitely benefit if I go longer with that outside time. Maybe I take a nice long walk. Maybe I go to the beach. The beach is actually only a mile from my house. And so I can pop down there for a quick walk on the water if I want. That's Puget Sound. For those of you that haven't been out to Washington, we have Puget Sound connected to the Pacific Ocean. So it's a nice place to get that outside time. And then finally, W is writing. So reading and writing are fairly connected in my world. I love stories. I love reading stories. And I love telling stories. Sometimes those stories are things from my life, and I do count some of the work things that I do towards writing. So if I sit down and write an email, if I write a LinkedIn post, a Substack post, I count that. By the way, for any of you that are on Substack, I am on Substack now. So you can find me, Erika Parker Price, Erika spelled with a K. You'll find me up there, and I'm just dipping my toe into that water. So come over and find me there. But sometimes it's bigger writing. So I think I've shared that I'm working on a book right now. I've written fiction books in the past, specifically in the middle grade and young adult category. But what I'm working on right now is something that falls into that business fable category. And that was a new genre name for me. If anybody's familiar with the book, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, something that is talking about business concepts, but does it in a fictional manner. So I'm working on something that really crosses the line between fiction and the work that I do on helping people find their next job, pivot to their next career, talking about AI and job disruption. All of that's in my book. So that's what I'm working on the days when I'm writing for longer. Okay, that's my summary. Friends and family, reading, exercise, meditation, time outside, and writing. Those are the 6 things that if I do them every day, that's what I consider to be my perfect every day. And like I said, not perfect, not the most amazing day, not that nothing ever went wrong in my day, but my perfect every day. And it's that every that really minimizes the perfect for me. It's just an everyday thing. These are the things that make me grounded, whole, connected, and where I want to be. So my question for you is, what are your non-negotiables? What is it that you need to do every day to make yourself feel whole? Is it the exercise? Is it time with specific people? And it could be something completely different than what I have on my list. Maybe for you, it's prayer. Maybe it's journaling. It could be doing the New York Times crossword puzzle. Who knows? I definitely do some of those New York Times games, but they do not make my perfect every day. They're just something I do. Slightly on the addiction side, maybe, although not the crossword. I'm a Wordle, spelling bee, connections kind of person. So that's what I want you to be thinking about. I don't expect you to come up with it instantly, but just pay attention to your days. Pay attention to the days when you feel good at the end of the day, and pay attention to the days when you're just dragging, and notice what it is that you're missing. On the good days, notice what it is that you did that day. What is it that made that a good day? And then the goal is to replicate it. For me, it helped to actually name them. It helped to come up with the acronym so that I could start to focus on it. There have been times in my life when I've actually tracked it. I'll make a note in my phone and I'll actually write those 6 letters down, and then I'll just check them as I go. Right now, that's not something that I'm feeling that I need to do. I feel like I know generally what they are, and I'm just trying to structure my life in such a way that it's actually happening. Maybe I read before bed. I try to do the exercise in the morning. Ideally, meditation before that. You'll notice I forgot to say it even while I'm here because that's the one that tends to fall out. And like I said, some of them are easy. Time with friends and family, going outside, those things are easy and pretty much happen automatically in my life. At some point, I will probably change what's on my list. But what I like about this is I can do this whole list in under an hour. And probably the bulk of that time would be spent exercising and probably the friends and family time. That can easily stretch well beyond, and I'm totally okay with that. So it isn't something that I think, oh, I have these 6 things that I have to do, and each one has to be 20 minutes, and that's going to be 2 hours of my day. It isn't something like that. If I get a couple minutes of reading, a couple minutes of writing, a couple minutes of meditation, I count that as good. It's fine. It is the doing of it that gives me the mental and in some cases physical benefit as well. So there you go. There's my list. I would love to know what is on your list. Feel free to send me a note. If you're not on my email list already, you can always go to erikaparkerprice.com and you can get on my email list. You can send me a message on LinkedIn. And hey, now I'm on Substack too. So if you're over there, feel free to send me a note over there. If you're not familiar with it, I think it's kind of like the new written version of Instagram. Not new as in it just came out. It's been a couple of years. And it tends to be a little more writing focused than photo focused. But like all social media, they all kind of blend together. So you'll definitely get photos up there as well. And I know in this podcast, we really didn't talk about the job search at all. So I am just going to say, I think of this as being foundational to the job search. If you can get to a place where your everyday is going well, then you are so much better positioned for the actual job search. So don't think that this doesn't do something to move the needle on the job search. It absolutely does. And in terms of what not to put on the list, I would not put on this perfect everyday list, this is how many applications I'm going to do. I wouldn't put it there. I think that that is your work. I think that's your job. And what I'm talking about here is what is it that you need for your mental and physical health to have that perfect everyday. So go ahead and figure out what yours are. Feel free to send it my way. I would love to know what other people are doing. And who knows, maybe I will amend my own list and adopt one of yours. Have a great rest of your day and week. That's a wrap for this week on Land Your Next Job. If this episode helped, please leave a quick review and subscribe wherever you listen. Share it with a friend in transition, and I'll see you next Monday. Let's land your next job together.